defense is back and set. They got too many actions and skilled guys, and we were fractured in that way. But when you give them points off turnovers, and I think it was 19 in the first half, if I'm right, that puts you in a big hole. But they really exposed some things that we have to go to work on and just try to shore up. And that was discouraging for sure. But yeah, it's those areas. You start with ball security on the offensive end, and then you play from there. But they hurt us in the areas we've tried to work hard on: transition defense, making them shoot contested shots, and taking care of the ball. Just start with that, and we couldn't even get to that spot and execute at a high level.
Coach,
Oh yeah.
Sorry, the 98 points, obviously that's a lot. Is that more defensive miscues? Is it just really good offense? I think Gonzaga scored at least 87 against everyone this year. So I guess, is it both of those?
Both for sure. It's very, very dangerous offensively, the way they can, when Kispert gets going like that. Timmy's a handful in the post. He can score. And, if you go and trap them, they got guys out there that boom, they're set, ready to shoot it. They score so well in transition. 25% of their scoring is in transition, and we help that even more with the turnovers. But a lot of breakdowns. We had a lot of trouble on ball screen defense. We just, we're so worried about our guys. We were stretching, and there was layups at the rim. And then when we stayed too long, we left guys wide open. So they had us they had us every time. And that was hard. Anytime we got a little momentum, it was either a turnover or they just got an easy bucket. And we haven't guarded well this year yet. And that's something we got to just keep trying to do. We lost a lot in the defensive side of things. And that's some place we got to shore up and keep getting better.
Tony, big picture, do you have any regrets about taking this game, going out there and playing, or is this kind of the learning experience that you need to have?
I have regrets of, how poorly we played and getting beat this much, but absolutely not. We needed this. We got our game canceled against Michigan State and Villanova, Florida, and, we got beat by San Francisco. We barely beat Kent State. We needed to play against some teams that are, high major caliber. So this is the first time, and we weren't ready for it. I mean, it was too much. But I think you can't hide forever, and just, you got to know, look, we got some warts. We got to go to work on those. These are some deficiencies. So now how do we play to get back in games? Because, now conference play starts and everyone's got talented guys. And there's talented guys on the non-conference teams we played, but this was important, but painful. And I wish it wasn't as poor as the showing as it was, but you sometimes have to be able to know, well, who are we? Where are we really at? And again, I know Gonzaga's great, but we made them even look better than great tonight. And that was discouraging, but this is now where you say, all right, will we grow from it? Will we stay unified and come back ready the next time?
All right, our next three questions will be from Jerry Ratcliffe, Danielle Stein, and Gene Wong.
Hi, Tony. Bill Raftery said during the broadcast today that he would like to see your team a month from now after you can get the chemistry and all those things going. How much can a team change in that length of time, and how forward are you looking to seeing that day?
Yeah, we're going to have to. You always have a choice. You can kind of stay the same, which won't be good enough, or you can improve, or you can even go the other direction. And there's no guarantees. It's what you do with, a reality check or a hard, I guess, being exposed like that. So I hope we'll get better. I hope we're still shuffling a little bit with personnel, things like that. But that's the hope, that from this game, taking it would show us what we needed to see, as uncomfortable as that is. And now you really go to work at it. I think these are some things we thought, but until something like this happens, you say, okay, this is reality. So now we go to work, get ready for obviously ACC play with Notre Dame, and we must improve. If we don't, it'll be a very, very hard year. And that's, again, reality.
Going into the half, you guys went on that 7-0 run. What would you say the message was at that half? Did you guys have any extra added motivation at that point that you guys were still in it, and where did it kind of transpire for the second half?
No, it was a pretty intense halftime. It was about fighting. It was about soundness and toughness and growing. Gonzaga, they almost were kind of looking at it. You just could feel it. And so I thought some guys it was a bit overwhelming for some. It was new experiences. And some, I was like, we got to fight everything you got to do those things we talked about. So, and then we start the first half, second half, turnover. Boom, they're down there, and we couldn't get a handle on things. So they had us pretty much most possessions. And I was hoping we'd get off to a better start to be in it, but I don't think we didn't have a place in that game today. We didn't. We couldn't stop them for consecutive times and make them earn. And then, offensively, we touched the paint and did some things. And, I know the guys, that's hard, but now we go to work.
Yeah, Tony, you mentioned not guarded well at all this season. ACC play right around the corner. Are there quick fixes? If so, what are they? Or is it just a matter of, or you have to have time to get the chemistry going? Because, ACC starting pretty quickly.
There's not quick fixes. I mean, you just have to, it's a mindset. Defense is so much about your heart and your mind. And yes, there's know-how, there's feel to an extent, but you have to decide as a collective group, we're gonna fight, die trying, so to speak, on like possessions. It's gonna matter that much. Like, last year's team, we knew we could win and we had to win with our defense. This year's team doesn't believe that we might not be quite as gifted defensively in certain positions, but it has to come to that reality or it'll be hard, because when you can't get stops, it puts too much pressure on you. And this is, we got to try to shore it up.
All right, our next three questions, David Teal, Jeff White, and Doug Dabby.
Tony, you started with Sam on Kispert, then I think you went to Casey and then even to Key there in the second half. Just trying to give him different looks, because, if he wasn't hitting a three, he was driving by somebody.
He sure was. They run a tough action when you do get back in your set. They've got a good action where they set a screen and they roll Timmy to the rim, and there's a lot of pressure on that. You got the Suggs coming off the ball screen, so you got to stop the ball. You got to help on the roll, and then Kispert they call it a shaker. He's filling behind, so they put you in a spot where you really got to do the job quickly, get it stopped, and recover. And if you're at all off on that, if you go too close to Kispert, they're going to throw it to the rim like they did to Timmy. If you don't get the ball stopped, they turn the corner. If you stay too long, they're going to throw it to Kispert behind. And they just kept probing that, and we couldn't. We tried to switch the ball screen. We tried a couple different things. So, and when a guy sees it going in like that, and he showed that he could get you that way, and then he was starting to drive the catch. They're a really good offensive team with really good actions, and that's shown. But we didn't. We helped them out more than we needed to, for sure.
Jalen Suggs had been scoring a lot for them. He did not tonight, but it seemed like he impacted the game a lot with his passing and rebounding and just overall floor play. What did you think of his performance? And, how does this Gonzaga team stack up to other good teams you've seen, at least in the regular season?
He's so strong and athletic, and he's fast, and he can shoot the ball. They're so potent offensive. They're the best at, running. They just run the middle of the floor, and they get on the rim in transition, and they run with their guards, and they're the best transition team. And we worked as hard as we could for the last, thinking we were going to play Michigan State because they run hard, thinking we were going to play Villanova. We worked so hard in our transition defense, and that's the frustrating thing. It did not show up. Some of it was turnovers, and you can't fault your transition D. But and then I thought, again, we got overwhelmed, and it we went inside a little bit inside of ourselves, and we couldn't figure out a way to collectively get it stopped. So they're really good. I think it's, they beat my butt when I was at Washington State. We beat them sometimes, but always they're so well coached. They have such talent. Our lack of athleticism at times showed. They have such athletic guys, and they're veterans in all spots, I think, except for Suggs, who's a McDonald's All-American player.
Tony, it seems as if some of the younger guys were playing with a lot of fire at the end, like Casey Morsell. Did you see anything good there at the end?
It's what you do, Doug. You just say, hey, listen, I don't care what the score is. Can we just fight and try to get some stuff going? Because these are important minutes. So, yeah, those guys didn't lay down. They took their foot off the gas. They played different personnel. But I thought Justin gave us good heart. Poppy, when he came in, gave us good heart. Casey and they fought through it. And we get, I'm not leaving anyone out. It just was one of those where they at least tried to do some good things. And, it's a mystery sometimes. All right, what's our rotation? You could see me struggling through the game, also through this year, not being able to get my hand on it. And we'll keep working for that. But yep, those guys didn't lay down. And, we kind of talked to the bench, no matter what, stay alive and stay together. And same message in the locker room after. This is about, us coming together and fighting together for being as good as we can be.
All right, that's all we have from Coach. So thank you, Coach. And we're
Thank
going to have Kihei Clark up next.
Oh, wait. Oh, family. I didn't know. Monkey.